Unit 4, Examination Practice, Revision, and you know what that means. If you haven't watched all the previous Unit 4 videos, please watch them before you continue this video. A. Choose the word or phrase that produces a grammatically correct sentence. This is about grammar. He was the bravest, the most courageous man I saw before, was ever seeing, had ever seen, had ever been seeing. Look, the time here is not important. We don't have a duration. We don't have two actions, just one, and we have was. It's in the past. So we use past perfect simple. If you had is here, he is the bravest man, then you would use I have ever seen. He is the bravest man I have. Because we have was, we use past perfect simple. 2. We, for an hour, when we suddenly realized that we were going in the wrong direction, this has been happening for an hour. The time here is important. Use past perfect progressive. Had been driving. Who to the park with yesterday? We're talking about yesterday, a specific point in the past, so we use past simple. Don't look here. Do we use who did you go or who you went to the park with? Are we asking about the subject or the object? You went with somebody, that means that somebody is the subject, the one who took you, and you went with him, so you are the object. Use an auxiliary verb. Who did you go to the park with? They accompanied together, but they had an argument. They didn't agree on a lot of things. And in the end, they didn't use the verb set up. Set up means start a company together. They wanted to do something in the past, but they didn't. They intended to do something. Use was, were, going to. Who, you, the postcard that came yesterday. A question. Are we asking about the object or subject here? Somebody sent you the postcard. He is the one who sent. He is the subject. Don't use auxiliary verb. Who sent you? Maram, dinner, by the time. By the time means it happened before this point of time, before her husband came home. Use past perfect simple, had made. You like best the red one or the blue one? I have limited choice. Well, actually only two choices. Don't use what, use which. Do we need do? We're asking about the object, the dress. So we need an auxiliary verb. Use which dress do you like more? Mark expected that his team to the playoffs, to the finals. Playoffs is a British word. It's not used in American English, but it was just wishful thinking. The verb expected is in the past. Mark thought that this would happen later in the past, so we use would. Would make it. Would go to the finals. But his team didn't. The burglary. Who saw? We're asking about the subject. Who saw the burglary? Gadi had been working for 10 hours. The time here is important, so we used past perfect progressive. He had been working for 10 hours straight without taking any rest. So when he came home, two actions in one sentence. We gave the first one past perfect progressive, and the second one is the result of this. Because he had been working for 10 hours straight, he was exhausted. B. Read the text below and decide which answer A, B, C, or D best fits each gap. Treasure hunt in Mexico. When people do this, they go treasure hunting, they search for hidden items or objects. It's a game. Every year, my best friend Ross invites me to visit him in Sanibel. Sanibel is a city in Sanibel Island in Mexico, and take part in the annual. Take part, participate, be involved in the annual treasure hunt that happens every year. He organizes. The participants, the people who take part in the treasure hunt, are all friends and relatives who spend 3 days searching the town, spend 3 days frantically means quickly and using a lot of energy, searching the town for the hidden items we should find. We are given a list of instructions with only vague, not very clear clues, information that help us find the treasure that we are searching for, of what we are supposed to look for, and a map so that we don't get lost in the town. You might be wondering, you might be asking yourself, why he does this year after year? Well, he won lots of money. He is very rich in a competition 4 years ago, making him very rich, and he happily shares his good fortune with his friends. I must say that the first time he invited me to Mexico, I reluctantly means I accepted, but I didn't really want to accept at first, because I am terrified of flying. I feel scared when I fly. But I decided to take his advice, listen and follow his advice, and face my fears. As it turned out, there had been no reason, why, because the whole story is in the past. Look, it turned out past, so we don't use verbs in the present. No reason for me to be so worried. The flight was uneventful. Uneventful means it had no events. That means it was normal. Nothing special happened. In the end, I had a fantastic time. The people were wonderful. The weather was very nice, and the treasure hunt was amazingly enjoyable. Ross is a great host. He puts everyone up in his enormous house, very big house, and takes care of our every need. And the best part is that everyone comes away with overflowing baskets of gifts, overflowing baskets that are too full of gifts. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with friends. I will see you again next time, inshallah. Goodbye.